Hello, crafty friends. Welcome to this Brother ScanNCut tips and tricks tutorial. My name is Kimberly Smith and I'm the paper chef. Today, I'm going to focus on the Best Day stamp set. What's exciting about this is that our catalog just launched today, the Stampin' Up! Mini catalog. I'll be going through this later on my YouTube channel and maybe post it to my Facebook page, Instagram, and other places as well. But I just wanted to show you that this stamp set is super cute. I mean, you got this cute cat and a cupcake, and I thought, why not cut it out with the ScanNCut, right? Then I did some coloring, and then, wow, my card just came alive when I made a gatefold card because I also focused on some new paper, which I'll show you as well. So you get some sneak peeks of products. I have a bigger light on, and it's going to go dark when I scan in, but let's just go ahead and get started. The first thing I like to do when I teach these tutorials, let me go ahead and unload my mat, is just start from the very beginning with stamping the image, because some of you have you're new to the ScanNCut. Maybe you're new to stamping, and I just want to show that. So let me go ahead and make this, get a couple pieces of paper. I'm using a couple pieces. My table's not very flat. I'm just going to get a little pile of paper there. I haven't had much luck with this thing today. My silicone mat usually helps me, but I think it's better if I put some paper underneath it too to get my table straight. Yes, I'm still waiting on that she shed, and I'm going to be getting some furniture, and we're working really hard on it. Every single day we are making progress on the she shed. However, we're using my neighbor's folding table for now. That's what we do. We just improvise. That's what I've been doing for years, improvising. And you all seem to be fine with it. So what I've done is stamp the cat. I've already had this mounted. Okay, so you're just going to take Memento black ink. Why Memento black ink? Because then I can use the Stampin' blends to color the stamped images. So you want to use Memento black because it won't smear your alcohol markers. It's a good hybrid ink. Now keep them a little bit keep them a little bit away from each other, like that, like so. All right, we got our cats. Let's do now some cutting and layering. We'll get back to this one. The birthday. Happy birthday. All right, now those came out perfectly. So usually what I do is, I sing. Don't mind me. It's just I get very excited when my stamps come out. When my stamps come out evenly the first time. So now we're just going to go ahead and mount the paper. Don't rub over your stamps because, you don't want to smear the ink. But go ahead and put your piece of paper on there. This is basic white cardstock by Stampin' Up. If you're not having good results with your stamped images, think about using our cardstock. And I say our because I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Maybe you're using cheap cardstock that doesn't have good ink absorption. I'm keeping it real. I'll tell you when I don't like something, but one thing I do like is our basic white cardstock. So plop that in your cart, and you can earn free items today during celebration. Try to mention all these things later. There's so much going on. All right, let's see. So what we want to do is we want to scan. And now I'm going to go ahead and tilt my camera a little bit, and I'm going to have to turn off the light when I do the scanning. So we're going to go dark, but I'm going to first bring this machine over. Actually, I'll just see if I can move my tripod a little bit. A combination of moving my tripod and the machine. All right. I'm tilting it at a weird angle because I have this ring light and it makes this funky ring over whatever I do. All right. So what we want to do is start from the beginning. I'll go ahead and tilt that down. See, if I tilt this light goes like a big light. We'll move it out of the way. All right, that looks better. Then you're not like getting dizzy. It's a little bit straighter on. All right, so if you're new to the ScanNCut, I'm starting at the very beginning. If you've been with me before, then it'll be a review. And good for you to get review. Hey, that rhymes. Good for you to get review. All right, so I have a stylus. For the stylus. All right, so you're gonna when you turn on your machine, you're gonna see pattern and scan. We want to choose scan because we're going to be scanning in the images. We're going to be cutting them out directly. We're not saving these. These are stamped images. Don't save your stamped images. I mean, for many reasons. First of all, there's no reason to save a stamped image shape. Right now, we're only cutting out the shape of the outside of the stamped image. There's no reason to save this because every time you stamp, it's going to be on a different part of the page. So we're going to not save. We're going to directly cut these out. Now we're going to the machines ask us, where do we temporarily want to store this information? We want to store it on the machine, because if you want to store it here on Canvas Workspace temporarily, you have to be connected. And I do have other tutorials on how to connect it. And if you're interested and you're new to the ScanNCut, be sure to take my ScanNCut Beginner's Guide course, which goes over all these things. The next, it's asking, what size is your scanning area? Well, it's 12 by 6 because the 2 cats that I just stamped are in the top part of the page. If you have a whole page of stamped images, you would select 12 by 12, but we're just going to go ahead and select 12 by 6 because we're scanning on the top part of the mat. Then it's asking, is it black and white or color? It doesn't matter if you color your stamped images, which I highly discourage you to do. Don't bother coloring them until later for so many reasons. I can go over those reasons later, but you basically don't want to color your stamped images, because what if they don't cut out very well? And plus you might, want to color them to match coordinate with your projects. Let's not digress. Don't use color recognition mode, even if these were colored. You don't want to use color recognition mode because you have nice black lines around your stamped images. So you don't need to confuse things by adding extra colors. So let it just detect the black and white lines. Now, oops, I'm going to turn off my light. That's what I have to do. I say oops, meaning make sure you turn off that light before you start scanning. I have such a bright light that it will affect the scanning and make things have an uneven distance around the outside. So now I can turn back on my light, because it doesn't matter now. You just turn it off for scanning. So now what you're going to do is you're going to isolate the images that you want to cut out. So you could isolate them in a few ways. So first, you make a selection box. That's one way to isolate just the images you want to cut out. Another way is to ignore object size, and ignoring object size will get rid of any of these dots on the mat over here or around here, anything that was stray and picked up. That is the dirt on the mat. So you could see, the dirt on the mat over here. So you go, right here. Okay. So now we go like this. So we have it isolated. Okay. Isolate the images. Now, the other way is, once I've selected these, we can also go in and edit parts that we don't want to be selected. Like over here on the mat, we could go over here and trash anything that wasn't selected. But when you're ignoring objects, you don't want to ignore the very thing you're trying to cut out. You just want to ignore the objects to get rid of the stray bits. But we got rid of them by actually making a selection. Now, next thing I want to talk about is the outline distance. Why do we need it? Well, if you ever work with metal dies, the artist always give you a little bit of buffer around the image. It just looks nicer. So we want that little bit of an outline distance around this cut, this little cat. Okay, so we want the little outline distance. It just makes it look nicer. It's also more forgiving. It makes everything look more even, the line around it. Also, if you don't put a little outline distance, you might end up cutting into your little line for your balloon or something like that. I like to use an outline distance of 0.04. That's a good outline distance. That's the smallest outline distance we can use. Now that you got all the settings there, we're going to go ahead and do cut. And now we don't need to worry about our light anymore, because our light, and I'm going to go, and you didn't see that, but I hit the start button. You don't worry about the light anymore, because the light was only impacted when you're scanning. So now, you can keep your lights back on for other things. Oops, avalanche. I heard it called a craft-a-lanche, which was a good name, instead of an avalanche. One of my viewers told me that one. I said, that's good. I'm always having craft-a-lanches. So this whole thing just fell over. All the things I was going to show you, I'm picking up as much as I can and walking back to my machine. All right, so what I want to show you is some of this paper. All right, this is this paper here. Oh, okay, let me get back to this. I don't want to digress. I'll tell you about the paper in a minute. All right, what you want to do now is, check this out. Oh, by the way, a few more things, because some of you are new to the ScanNCut, and I see you asking about whether to purchase a ScanNCut. Okay, your question about should you purchase it through me? It does help support my channel when you use the links in the description of my videos to purchase the ScanNCut. I may not have put the link there today because it's on all my other videos, because I was trying to focus on putting the link to the catalog request form, et cetera, et cetera. But I will go post the link there, or email me, info@thepaperedchef.com. It does help support my channel. I don't actually sell the machine. I don't work for Brother, but I do have what's called affiliate links. And it does help support my channel, because I offer these things freely on my channel, and then by using affiliate links, it does help support my channel. But I don't know who does what. I can't tell if you purchased them or not through me. So, but just if you use the link, that helps. All right, so this is what I did. So I want to tell you about a couple things. So if you're new to the ScanNCut, what we were using to cut out the stamped images is auto blade technology. That means you didn't have to set the blade depth, nothing. It just detects, it determines, it puts a little nick on the mat, it goes, and then you see it go over to the paper, and it compares the nick that it made on the top of the mat. You can feel the nicks on the top of the mat. It compares the distance between what the mat depth is and the paper depth. That's how it knows how to cut out. Again, if you're not having good results, you're using cheap paper, maybe your paper's all fibrous and it's getting caught all over the place and it's not cutting out sharply, use Stampin' Up! Cardstock. People keep saying, oh, I'm not getting the same results as you. Well, you're not using the same products as me. Maybe that's why. All right, but aren't they cute? Oh, super cute. All right, so now let's cut out an outline to go around our cats, and then we'll color our cats. All right, so let's do this. Let's pick something here. This is our new paper, and there's actually more patterns than this. Way more patterns. I'll just use this paper here. It's Starry Sky. It's pretty cute. We'll just use this piece here. So what we want to do is put this right where we took this off, right? So you got to make note of where you remove this. So you're going to put the paper right down in the same spot. Okay, same spot on your. And by the way, my mat's not sticking very much today, so sometimes I just have to cheat and put some Seal Plus on here, right? Just to get my paper to stay. All right, give it a good rub. Rub a dub dub. 3 men in the tub. All right, now we're going to bring the machine back. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering about this paper, I will do a little reel on it later on Instagram where I show you the paper in greater detail. Here's what the paper looks like. This paper is one of the things you get with your host rewards, meaning if your order is $150 or more at my Stampin' Up! Store, then you get to get this paper pack of 48 sheets. It's 12 by 12, and there's loads of those patterns, more than I'm showing you. That is called Flowers and More Designer Series paper. That's my store. I'll show this again later. It's in the description of this video right now. Click below. All right, now let's go over here. It says finish cutting. So what we're going to do now is put an outline around the cat. I've already done this for my birthday cake, and now I'm showing you how to do it for the cat. So we're going to go over here, and we're going to click back. Click the back button. Okay, so in other words, don't delete this. Don't delete your screen. You want to put a bigger outline distance around the kitty. So go ahead and hit back. And you're only going to this button here called outline distance. And at this point, you either want to go up to 0.08 to put a big outline distance around it. That looks like this. That's like you have your birthday cake, and then 0.04 was the birthday cake, and then 0.08. I think that's enough. You could go up to 12, but don't go further than that. It kind of starts looking funny. Unless you're trying to do 3 layers on purpose. Click 0.08 outline distance, click OK, and now we're going to select again, cut, and we're going to select start. That's what you didn't see me hit last time, the start, and it's going to go over here. So now I'm going to tell you about, say you're using a different kind of machine right now. Maybe Santa didn't give you one of the SDX 125 or 125Es, which is what I'm using right now. I'm using an SDX 125. So you had this paper, and you were using maybe a ScanNCut 2 or a CM350. You had this paper called, I'm just grabbing the package again, called the Stampin' Up! Basic White Cardstock. So if you had to change your blade depth, you should use a blade depth of 4. For the ScanNCut CM350 ScanNCut 2, when you're cutting basic cardstock, not the thick basic cardstock, just the cardstock. Now, when you're using designer series paper like I am here, you're going to use a blade depth of 3. That's just with like years and years of trial and error and experience. Those are my blade depth recommendations. Okay, every machine is different. It's always good to do a test cut. So now what we've done is we've taken this designer series paper and we've cut it out. Be careful, I'm using my spatula because I did have a little bit of, remember I put a little bit of adhesive under there. I'm going to roll that off now because I don't want that on there. Well, I don't care if it's on there because I'm going to use this on a card, but I'm just getting rid of that little bit of Seal Plus I put on there. You know, the mats are not very sticky, honestly. And so with Brother, I always teach you how to re-stick your mats. So I have several tutorials here on YouTube on how to re-stick your mats to make them stickier. But right now, And even though I have that glue, I can't afford it's just like can't afford to stop what I'm doing and restick my mat. I'm on a big mission. Oh, not that I can't afford to, but I'm saying I can't stop right now to do my mat. So I'm going to do it later. Look how cute. Look how super cute. All right, so we'll do a little coloring just for fun. We'll tilt the camera. We'll have some fun a little bit. Then we'll get into the, we'll do the one at the end. We'll just, in case anyone came late, because I know there's a lot of newbie stampers out here, newbie ScanNCut users. So if you are new, you will get a chance to see me cut out the happy birthday. There's not really a big trick to it or anything. We'll cut that out without the pattern, but we won't color that one. We're just going to color now. So when I color, and by the way, I do stick around, because what I do at the end of my tutorials is I show you a couple projects that you can make, that you could have made, or with the stamped images that we just cut out, which makes it kind of fun. So I'm going to use we'll use both a combination of colored pencils. I'm going to use the blender pen only because I don't have my supplies with me. I don't have all my markers. I don't have all my things. So I have to use a combination of blender, like alcohol blends, the blender pen, and whatever inks I happen to have with me. So I don't have my markers. I'm just waiting for like a big shipment. So what you do is I'm going to just show you a couple of coloring techniques, which will be fun. Hey, because we're crafters, right? And it's fun to color. So let's take, this is what's called a blender pen. And you just grab a piece of paper and you sort of make sure that that's the right color. Okay, so that's Parakeet Party. So Parakeet Party is one of the colors. And I say one of the colors, meaning you always want to use coordinating colors whenever you're working with your crafts. So if your crafts are not looking right and you're going, why doesn't my card look right? Why doesn't it look right? It's because you went out and you bought a bunch of stuff and you thought it was a great deal, and you came back and you can't use any of it because it doesn't coordinate. Okay, been there, done that. Used to do it all the time. It didn't matter. I still used it because I've had a children's craft club for about 10 years. At least 10 years, yeah. So different times. So I've always been able to use like the cheapo stuff that I brought back, like that didn't coordinate. But my Stampin' Up stuff, I'm serious about it coordinating. Like I love that it coordinates. So that's how to use the blender pen. So let's do that. Oh wait, let's do the balloon too. Sorry. Before I rub it off, you can just do the balloon and maybe one of the lines in the hat. Okay. Now you just rub it off like that by just drawing. That's how you rub off the blender pen. Now we're going to go ahead and use the alcohol marker, and we'll use the blender pen again in a minute. We'll do pink. This is called Polished Pink. It's a super fun color of pink. One of the in colors as well. So Polished Pink, it comes in, when you use alcohol markers, they come in a pack of light and dark markers. And so I'm just using the dark one right now, if you're wondering, because it just looked better. But you could have done like a little blending with I'll show you how I blend with the crumb cake when I do the cat. The rest of them I'm not coloring. I'm not blending, I mean. I'm just coloring. Blending means when you use the light and the dark in combination in a strategic way. So we'll do a little pom-pom up there. And we could do the nose, but we need a lighter color of pink for the nose. So I was just using one of my, these are called the skin tone markers. You can use that or petal pink for the nose. All right, now let's go back to the blender pen. Or let's just do the tie. I'm going to do the tie and the hat in Starry Sky. But I want a lighter version of Starry Sky, not the real dark Starry Sky. So rub some off just to get it light. See, like a light blue. And then we'll do that for the hat. So the blender pen kind of lets you go with different shades. So we'll do the hat in blue and Parakeet Party. Okay, get rid of all that. And now we want to take, I just use, for the eyes, I tend to use Pool Party for different animals' eyes. Or you could use like Balmy Blue. It doesn't really matter. Some kind of light. This will be Balmy Blue, but you usually use Balmy Blue or Pool Party. Now we're ready to color the cat. So we're going to take our light crumb cake and we still have to color the little dots too. We're going to take our light crumb cake. This is my dead one. I put instead of throwing away my markers when they get all dried out, I put a sticker on them, letting it know that it's not my new one. It's not my new marker, but it's still good. It means it's not like totally like ready to go. I'm going to use the thin side. I'm not comfortable using the big thick side. So there's a thin side and a thick side. So what you want to do with the kitty is blend Mr. Kitty. So we're going to do dark around the outside and on the hand. And it'll look better once I show you the ones that have dried that I did earlier. Because it's like a little, you know, it's a little harsh when you use alcohol markers. Little, put around the, going to do those little stripes. Okay. So you do dark around the outside, and then you take your light crumb cake. I'm just always making sure it's my crumb cake because I have a lot of skin tone blends all over the place. And see how I'm just pulling in the colors from the dark side by circular motions? And you could, if you don't want to use circular motions, you could just sort of just drag down, like drag up and down. But I tend to circular motions going right over the dark into the light seems to work better for me. I have some already colored in crumb cake, so they look better. Now you do this again, you let it dry a little bit, and then you do another layer, so it's not as harsh. But isn't he coming out cute? What a fun cat. And then, of course, the sentiment that says, it's all about you, right? It's all about you is because that's like, if you've ever had a cat, it's always all about the cat. The cat takes over the house, your sofa, your spot, everything. So it's kind of like funny to have a birthday card saying it's all about you. And then what I'm going to do is, because I don't have any blends in crushed curry, it's because they don't make blends in crushed curry. I'm just using a colored pencil of crushed curry to color in these little. Now, this is a watercolor pencil, so if you were doing big areas, you would add water and spread it out. And I've done watercoloring techniques on my channel in many of my workshops. So do check out my watercolor tutorials. But right now, I'm not using it as a watercolor pencil. I'm just using it to fill in my solid areas. Why crushed curry? Again, it's a coordinating color. As far as my, let's see. There you go. Just zooming in there. It's a coordinating color as far as the project I'm doing right now. All right, so now we need a little bit of dimensionals. And another fun thing to use would be Wink of Stella. You know, not just dimensionals, but Wink of Stella. Wink of Stella is a glitter pen. I'm just putting a little one on my balloon. Let's see. I'm gonna just cut half of dimensionals. What I'm gonna do, put it on the balloon because the balloon is smaller. Okay, I also can use. You might be wondering, what about a wobble spring? Yes, I did a wobble spring for one of my projects, and you could use a wobble spring. I usually have links to my wobble springs too. I'll add links later, right after this video. It's just that doing things from your phone is very hard. Like, so I do it from my computer later when I update my descriptions and such. Thumbnails, descriptions. Oops, that little one is still a little bit big. So get in there with your paper snips and make sure. So you're going to take your little guy, little cat, and stick it on here. Dun, dun, dun. All right, so that's what you do, and that's how it's done, and that is how we cut with our ScanNCut. We create a beautiful background layer. There's a little bit of a something going on there with that, but just fix things with your scissors when there's little stray bits that get outlined. Okay, and then you're going to cut with your ScanNCut. You're going to layer it. You're going to put that background layer with the 0.04 and then 0.08 outline distance. Okay, so let's see what else we have for you. Let's do the birthday thing. Let's do the birthday stamp. Those of you that just got here, we are cutting out stamped images. Best day. I'll talk about the pencil trick, but we didn't use it, but I'll talk about it anyway in case you want to try it. We're not going to layer the birthday cake. We're just going to go ahead and cut out a birthday cake. And I'll show you, there's a little bit of a trick that if you want to follow, I will like acknowledge that trick. All right, so let's do, oop, that got stuck. I'm stuck on you. It's like our paper. Remember I told you, you saw me put a little bit of the Seal Plus down there. It didn't rip it though because it's not dried. I'm just unloading the mat to give me some room. I'm going to go ahead and put my little, I'm just going to put the catalog there, something to have a little flat spot on. And you could also see the address. So I'll put this little, there's my store. I'm going to put this piece of basic white there. And I already have the stamp mounted onto a stamping block. And I've used for this one, I used, let's see, which one was that? Stamping block, see what it says, E. Stamping block E. So you're going to take your basic Memento black again. And you could use your Stamparatus when you have big stamps. Stamparatus is a stamp positioning tool. Okay, let's do this. All right, I have to kind of push in the middle of the stamp and hopefully it gets a good image. And if not, you can always fix it with a pen or marker. So hold it for a few seconds, especially on big stamps. And if you have a Stamparatus, just you just go back and forth. Oh, it came out nice. There's a little stray mark, but that's stray marks, no problem. All right, so what you want to do is I'm going to open this back up. I'm going to, show you if you want to change up how it cuts out. I could show you how to do that. All right, go ahead and stick it on your mat. Lay it down, load the mat. All right, so say you want to cut it out just as it is now. And I kind of like that, right? That's fine. And there's no problem with that. But if you wanted to, like say you didn't want it to go down inside there, like the happy birthday all the way down there. So what you're going to do is you're just going to connect these two bits with a little pencil mark that you can erase later. And that way the outer part will be just up around those letters. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Now, whenever you have a gap in your stamped image, if there were any gaps, like somebody was sketching the stamped image, you also would want to fill in any gaps. I call this my pencil trick. I've been using it for years. And now it'll scan in a little differently and cut out a little bit differently than the one that we did earlier. Remember the one we did earlier where if you just got here, you might not have seen the one I did earlier. And then turn this little light away. I'm going to have to move this over so we don't get as much funky light. So the one I did earlier was, I actually showed you how to cut, or this one, the one I did earlier, like this, but I also showed you how to cut out the cat. So if you missed the cat, that's what's on my screen right now. Just go back and watch how I'm cutting out the cat. So now I'm just going to go ahead and go back and erase everything. Or just hit home and it says, okay to delete all patterns, and you say yes. So now it's asking us, pattern and scan. So you're going to select, let me just grab my spatula. We're going to select scan, and we're going to select direct cut, and we're going to select save it to our machine. I'm just going a little faster, 12 by 6, because we're scanning in the top part of the image only. Turn off the light. Oops, I hope I turned off my light in time. My light's pretty far away now because I did move my machine. But when your machine is directly, okay, it looked like it did something funky. All right, what I'm going to do, it did a little funky something. I'm just going to go ahead and go like this. Keep my light off for a moment. I'm going to go ahead and connect this. I'm just helping it out. It did a little something funky because of that, probably because of that mark up there. It did a little something funky, but we're going to go ahead and try again. You're getting to see me troubleshoot in real time. Why didn't it come out exactly like the one I did earlier? Well, for several reasons. There's reasons include the fact that the light was different in the room. The fact that my image right now is not in the same exact part of the scanner as it was earlier. Okay, the stray bits of ink, the level of depth of my ink and how dark my ink is. There's a lot of reasons things come out differently every time you scan them. Oh, perfectly. Came out perfect. So you see how I just troubleshooted by just connecting a few lines with the pencil trick. And now we can go ahead and make that selection, right? We can ignore object size or make a selection and see if we got the objects. It didn't seem like we got all the stray objects. Now we can go ahead and ignore object size you can ignore way big objects here because we won't be ignoring the very birthday cake we're trying to cut out. We got rid of all the stray objects. We go ahead and put a 0.04 outline distance around it. And we're off. I could turn back on my light. We're all good. Start, cut, yada, yada, yada. And it's doing its thing. And start. And now we just do it. And then we unload the mat and it's done. Now it always estimates. It says a minute, but it's not really a minute, right? Because it doesn't actually take a whole minute. It's just telling you that it's somewhere between a minute and 2 minutes. Or I'm somewhere between 0 and a minute, I should say. That's what it's trying to tell us. That it's between 0 and a minute. Because it estimates in minute increments. Okay, came out pretty good. And even that's with my thing wobbling. If you have this trouble, we could do a whole thing on troubleshooting. You see how it was wobbling? I'll show you how to fix that too. My mat was wobbling. Okay, it's because look at this. See, it's not in there straight. It still did a pretty great job. Okay, let's first talk about the good job it did. It did a very good job. However, it's still wobbling. So I want to show you how to fix the wobbling thing. And then I want to show you how to erase this. Beautiful birthday cake. We can outline the birthday cake too, but I was trying to show you, I already taught that in the last part of the lesson, and I want to show you now just to erase. Don't use the red eraser on the back of your pencil because it'll leave streaks all over. We want to use with a white eraser, magic eraser, or some kind of white eraser. Okay, back to this. It's wobbling. I can go like this. See that? And I can straighten out my mat. I lifted the lever, I straighten out my mat, and it stops wobbling. Okay, you can also unlock this lever, bring this up, stop wobbling. That's how it's going to stop wobbling your mat. But it's still cut out pretty well anyway, despite, or not pretty well, I mean, I would say perfect, despite the wobbles. And I think I might put a little outline distance around this one next before I create something with this. All right, let me say hi to you all and show you my couple projects, and we'll be done for the day. And in good time too. Hello, Linda from ScanNCut and Create. Lynn, glad she caught me live. Hello, Jody. Melody, Terry, Mary from Wyoming. Oh, Jody loves the kitty. Hello, Sharon from Wisconsin. Got lots of my paper chefs here from my team. Hello, Yvonne. Janet. Okay, Mary's asking about the ScanNCut. So Mary, please contact me, info@thepaperedchef.com. There's my, or just go to this page, right? And you go to contact me, top left, and then I can get you a catalog. I can get you links to where you can purchase a ScanNCut, all that good stuff. Okay, Leah, hello. Yes. So I'm glad you got confused. I'm not glad you got confused about the little pieces, but I'm glad I cleared up the little part about confusion about the little pieces getting scanned. Hello, Gloria, Alberta, Catherine. All right, let's see. Wondering if you know where to find a reference for the symbols. Well, the symbols, I teach about all these symbols in my ScanNCut courses. I have 11 or 12 or something like that, maybe 13. I don't know at this point. I think 11 on the ScanNCut and 13 or 14 total. Go ahead and please look at my ScanNCut course list where I go over all the settings. All right, Ashley, Rose, hello, Denise, Sandy from Vegas. All right, ready to see my projects? I just made a couple this time. So for this one, I created I created a couple out of the ScanNCut little critters I cut out. So for this one, I created a gatefold card. I've tied it up with a piece of twine, and this twine is on clearance right now. 3 rolls of twine. Oops, I think I double knotted it. 3 rolls of twine for only $3, and it's called Fan Baker's twine, and I used it because it kind of matched. And that's what I did. Now, I didn't do the inside of this card yet, right? I didn't do the whole, this is called a gatefold, and my next course is on gatefolds, my next card making workshop. But I did a gatefold for a couple of reasons. I really wanted to highlight the different pieces of designer series paper. I wanted to highlight both both the main elements of the stamp set. I figured I could do some little sparkles on the inside part and some of these little swirlies. And I could even put, it's the best day because it's your birthday in the middle. So there's a lot I could do in the middle of this card. Plus, what's really nice, if you want to write a lot of messages when you have a gatefold card, you put a panel here, a panel here, a panel here, right? Lots of stuff, or just 2 more pieces of designer series paper on the sides and a big message on the middle. It's still an A2 card. It's just called a gatefold. If you're new to card making, I go through every single step, including supplies, how to fold, how to score. So I'll be doing a workshop on that. And then here is something I told you I'd show you. Kitty on a wobble. kitty on a wobble. All right, so I'll show you my chocolate too and my find I found. Oh, thank you, Rose. I'm glad you like it. Terry P. Lynn, thank you. Denise for your comments. And Rose, Sandy. All right, I got these on clearance at Joann. Let's just open it up, okay? Let's open it up, shall we? Little piece of heaven. It's dark chocolate, but it was on clearance in a little box from the Christmas, like a Christmas package. Isn't that beautiful? So Godiva, beautiful chocolate on clearance. That fits in there. Now, so does a Ghirardelli chocolate, and so does the tea bag. So this is what's called a double fold treat pouch. And if you want to know how to make a double fold treat pouch, I have taught about double fold treat pouches in my stocking stuffer boot camp, which I recently did on my YouTube channel. And just look up double fold treat pouch and you'll find my video on how to do that. I also did like an Instagram reel on it for it was a minute where I showed the tutorial where it just takes a minute, or I broke it down much longer on my YouTube channel. All right, so that's cool. That's all cool. But now what's really cool, let me put the stamps over here so it gets my glare on my light. What's really cool is that we have this catalog has launched today. If you want some of our products, these are great. But what's really great is that you could get free things right now. Free things. So it doesn't matter if you order from, well, you don't actually have to order from a catalog. We have an annual catalog. We have a mini catalog. But we have a website, and you don't really need to actually order from a catalog. You just can look on the website. In fact, some of my customers haven't requested a catalog. They just use the website. But most of them like the paper catalog. If you want a paper catalog, please ask me for a paper catalog. So what I want to show you right now is something really cool going on from January 4th, or 5th, today, sorry, 5th until February 28th. And that is Celebration. Celebration is when you can earn free things for every $50 that you spend. Okay, ready for something cute? Hoot, hoot, you're so cute. I don't know where my owls are. Oh, they were part of my avalanche. I'm going to show you. We did a ScanNCut tutorial. We did it way back when, before Christmas, around that time. And I showed you how to cut out these cute little owls that are free with your ScanNCut. And here's what we made. If you want to know how to make this gift bag, I did a gift bag tutorial. It's called, gift bag tutorial. So just look that up on my channel. And here's your hoot, hoot, you're so cute with the ScanNCut. So that's a free stamp set. So when you spend $50, maybe you got Best Day from this catalog, 20 something. Then maybe you got some other stuff, and then you get this one for free. And they all work with your ScanNCut. And there's our little wobbles again. All right, what else? Carrots. Thanks a bunch. Let's see, all the stuff. Free paper, more free paper, more free paper, more free paper, more free stamp sets, more free paper. And this, some of the things you have to spend $100 to get for free. Some things you don't. And then there's a joining special. So please check out all of the information. I'll be posting more about the joining special. We don't want to muddy the waters, but there's specials going on today. All right, well, that's all for now. This is the Paper Chef. I hope you enjoyed this Brother ScanNCut tips and tricks tutorial. Have a great day.